Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Dum Yinzers. This is episode 246. How you doing this morning, Michael?
Oh, I am awesome.
Good, man. Good. It is a big day, a special day, of course, for the people who have significant others in their lives. Today is Valentine's Day, Mike.
Yes, it is.
I feel like this day is a personal attack. I do think that this is biased against the ugly. The people that are offended by M&Ms and other things like that perhaps should create some kind of stir, because like I said, Mike, there's a large percent of ugly folks out here that do not get to celebrate like everybody else today.
Wow, that sounds like a you problem.
Where are you taking the big date today, Mike?
Nowhere. I bought breakfast.
You bought breakfast?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. I bought breakfast.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those days, you know what I mean? You can't celebrate it unless there's a significant other. Unlike other holidays, St. Patty's Day, you could go out and you could drink green beer and you could be Irish with everybody. On 4th of July, you could go to the fireworks and enjoy it and be what's the word?
I have no idea what word you're searching for.
I don't know either. But you know what? Valentine's Day, it hurts my feelings. I'm just playing. It don't hurt my feelings at all. I think
do you
it's
need
funny.
me to, do you need me to take you somewhere?
I think it's I think that it's funny. I do like to watch the people, because you know, it's funny that we now have this luxury, Mike, in the days of social media. We have the luxury of following people's relationships from beginning to end. And I enjoy that, to be honest with you, because they you notice certain times a year the relationships start picking up. It's around holidays, it's around Christmas, it's around Valentine's Day, I'm sorry. And it's like you know, people don't really like each other. They just get together for certain events, and you know, to get gifts and to be a part of things and have pictures taken of them and get dressed up, and that's more of a girl thing for me. I would rather not do any of that stuff. Even in a relationship, I'd rather not do those things. So I find it funny. I watch these guys, I watch on social media, and they, you know, they're all dressed up with the old lady, and you know, they don't want to be there. You know, they don't want to be there.
What if they do want to be there?
They don't. How many guys have you ever worked with in your life or been around? It just, I mean, I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to take my wife to this musical. You know,
that sounds like their problem. You know, they should be excited to be out with the wife. They sound miserable.
Yes. Everybody's miserable, Mike.
I'm not miserable. I'm happy.
Oh, you're a jackass too. Don't go by you.
Wow, you're kind of hateful today.
I am. I'm hateful today. Valentine's Day.
Today. Is everything okay? Do we need to talk?
I got this show, and that's all that matters. The show is my significant other, Mike. I spend more time, more focus, more energy, more anything in my life than I do with the show, or I do on the show more than anything. And you know what? If I could just be here doing a show today, that is enough for me. And you know what, Mike? If you recall, we are 1 year out. 1 year out. Last year, we had a special Valentine's episode where we actually painted a model's boobies. I don't know if you remember that. You
I actually forgot about that. That it was not that we painted the boobies, but that it was a year ago today. That it was on Valentine's Day.
It was a Valentine's Day special. That's right. We had a model, a OnlyFans model, come into the studio. She talked for a little bit, and then she decided to let us paint her naked boobies. And I got to say, that was one of the better Valentine's Days that I've ever had.
Oh, yeah. You've had some bad Valentine's Days.
And if you don't mind, I'll show you the paintbrushes. Like, we still have the paintbrushes.
You still have the paintbrushes.
They literally still have the paint on them that we used
to
paint that model's boobs. And it was naked boob and all, right over the nipple. We did hearts, if I'm remembering right. You did a boob, I did a boob, and
yes.
You can't tell me that wasn't one of your better Valentine's Days. You just can't do that, Mike.
Yeah, I've had better ones.
You had better.
I've had better, but it was
a random chick coming up to you and say, "Paint hearts on my naked boobs." You had better than that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a better day than that. Let alone Valentine's Day.
Well, you know, it's a toss up between like when my kid was born and painting boobies. You know, it is a toss up.
Well, I think that we all know that that's a bit of a stretch there. I think it's still a little bit of a landslide, if you ask me. But hey, You're not asking me, so let's move on. The Tubi commercial, Mike, the Tubi commercial. This is
Yes.
all that I've been hearing about for the past 24 hours since the last time we talked about the Tubi commercial. The Tubi commercial is brilliant. And I went back and I watched the Tubi commercial last night because I do have the Super Bowl dubbed. So I went back, I watched that a little bit before I went to bed last night. One thing that was brilliant about it, Mike, is it was an interactive video, interactive commercial, and you had no clue that it was interactive. You know what I mean? It included every millions of how many people that tuned in for the Super Bowl on Sunday evening were included in this commercial, yet they had no idea. I think that that's what made this so brilliant. And I went back and I watched it and I showed a couple people and I'm telling them about it. And I thought that, you know what, this might have been one of the best Super Bowl commercials of all time.
It does look like it is one of the best ones of all time. I'm watching like reaction videos, people like tearing up their house, tearing up their living room, bedrooms, looking for the remote. And I love it. Now, some people are saying Tubi was so stupid for doing this. Really? Everyone's talking about them. People who watched the Super Bowl probably like pissed at Tubi because they felt like an idiot looking for it. But the people who didn't see the commercial, because I must have fell asleep during the commercial or been out of the room when it was on, so I don't remember anything about it. Well, I'm hearing about it from everyone now. It's like, okay, what is Tubi? Makes me want to go find out what Tubi is. What are they all about?
Exactly. Nobody was talking about Tubi on Saturday. Nobody.
No.
As a matter of fact, I never heard anybody say the word Tubi in my life until Sunday. And now that's all people keep talking about. I think that I read somewhere that, Mike, that there's relationships being ended because of the Tubi commercial.
I
Freaking
like it.
Brilliant, my man. That you know what? That sets the standard, in my opinion. That, Mike, is the best that I've ever seen. And I've been watching Super Bowls for quite some time.
Yeah.
It's
replacing the Apple Macintosh one as the greatest commercial of all time.
Yes.
Of throwing the big old hammer toss through the screen.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's people tearing up their house, beating significant others, throwing grandma down on the ground,
grandma
breaking her hip, looking for the remote.
This is true. This is all true. This really happened Sunday evening. I think it's fantastic. I love it. I love it. If only everybody couldn't think like this, Mike. This was brilliant. This was brilliant. This was brilliant. Good for Tubi.
Yeah, it's it has people talking about your product. Like a lot of these commercials this year were like forgettable.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember a single one.
Right.
Other than Tubi, and I didn't even see the Tubi one. I didn't see it, and I know the Tubi better than any of the other commercials out there. It was a brilliant part of marketing from Tubi.
I think that a lot of people like the Doritos commercial, which I didn't really find.
I don't even remember it.
M&M's obviously was a big thing.
Yeah, especially that last one at the end of the Super Bowl.
The last one was the best.
That one was okay. That one was brilliant too. That one in Tubi, man.
Yeah. And you recall, I don't really remember seeing. I didn't pay too much attention, to be honest. But the commercials of the old were like, a lot of the Budweiser with the horses and things like that. Those used to be the high marks. Were
like when the Clydesdales came on, you're like,
Clydesdales,
epic.
And they went to kick the field goal, and that was big. But compared to, like I said, this interactive commercial, this idea, this brilliant stroke of genius by Tubi, those are they're ancient compared to this. I love it. I love it. I love it. Good for them. Mike, also, before we move on, another identified flying object flying over Lake Huron.
Yes.
That the military fired a $400,000 missile at and missed. What are these things?
It's nice to know we train our pilots to be, awesome at this.
Well, I'm sure they're very good at what they do, but I don't. What are all these flying things, and why all of a sudden, Mike?
I don't know. Apparently, that from what I've heard from like on the Pentagon reports, like this stuff, it's reason now people are noticing more is because we had the one a few weeks ago that everyone noticed and everyone saw. So now people are up and looking in the skies for them, and they're noticing more and more because it happened with the previous administration. We had like 3 balloons that flew by that no one knew about. And this last one, it was known about. Now there more coming out of. They don't know where they're coming from. A lot of it, like they're shooting them down, then they're trying to recover and figure out, okay, where are they coming from? Like, so who's sending them? They're trying to figure out where they're all coming from.
I know the one that
like the one that they knew from China, they knew because they were able to I think they were able to intercept all the broadcast and
yeah.
communications from the thing, so they were able to jam it. Okay, we know where the signal's coming from. Kind of like your screen right now. You are being jammed by one of these UFOs. So
Hey,
yeah, but no,
you don't know what those aliens are doing to me,
yeah,
man.
but yeah, so
Jam is not the word.
because I saw in the news today that like you said, the one that we shot down, we missed it for like Huron. We shot the one but we end up shooting that down. We end up shooting another one down up in the Yukon, and then another place. It's weird where this
The
stuff's
one
coming from. No one knows because these ones are a lot smaller than the one we shot down what the other week.
the one we got in Alaska last week was the size of a small car.
Yeah.
Size of a small car.
Well, the other one was what the size of 3 buses. Now a small car. They're getting smaller.
Yeah, what are these things?
I
And
don't
here's a
know.
question, Mike, that someone asked me. This wasn't even from my own demented head. Somebody said, you recall when we were on COVID and they came out and basically acknowledged that there is UFOs or whatever they acknowledged. I don't even remember, but I
Yeah.
recall it. Do you find any connection between this and that, or do you think these are totally isolated?
Totally. I think they're totally isolated. Well, technically, they are UFOs. Anything
Yeah,
that we don't know is an object
but we all know what we're
from,
talking
yeah.
about when we say UFOs.
I mean, if people want to say aliens, I don't think it's aliens.
Okay.
Do I think aliens exist? Yes. The math kind of says there has to be more intelligent life than us. So, do I think aliens are here now? That's what these UFOs are? No. And if they are, and this is what they're doing, how fucking stupid are these aliens if they only have balloons?
My opinion on the aliens, like, they're supposed to be so smart. They're supposed to be able to fly from, other
Mm-hmm.
dimensions or from billions of light years away. We have technology where we could keep an eye on things, pretty far away with our telescopes.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you think maybe that the aliens might be intelligent like us and might be able to watch us from afar, opposed to coming and crashing their poorly
Yes.
built UFOs into our lakes and things like that? I would tend to think that, that these people or whatever they would be more intelligent. If you could come clear across the
Mm-hmm.
universe, and then when you get here, to be a little bit, because we have stealth fighters, to be a little bit
Yeah.
more stealth, because you
Mm-hmm.
see lights blinking, 3 lights in a triangle, light
Yeah.
spinning. Again, you would think the intelligence of the beings would be a little bit more than what we would be, because we
Mm-hmm.
can barely get out of our own atmosphere. They're coming from light years away, wherever they're coming from. Yet they still have to come here. They still have to have all their lights on at all times. I don't know. It seems like a bunch of hocus pocus to me.
It does. I think it's got to be either some government, some group that's doing this just to see what can happen, to see what they can try and get away with. Who knows? Who knows what
Yeah,
it can be? It could be, you know, could be a foreign government, hostile government, could be, I don't know, who knows? Maybe like scientists not telling anyone, hey, we're sending stuff up here to try and get readings of like, whether this, that, and the other, not trying to be seen by anyone. So who knows what it can be.
well,
If
they
it is
blew that
aliens,
cover.
if it is aliens, I'm disappointed. Come on now. You guys should
I'm
have
very
better
disappointed in
technology
these
than this.
aliens.
Like, come on, step your game up.
Yeah.
This would be like us going and spying on another civilization. You need to be better than us.
Like, you figure, like, the moon, let's just say we did land there, and we went all the way there, we landed, we
Mm-hmm.
stepped out of it. So I mean, this would be equivalent to what we did in 1969,
Mm-hmm.
is what they would be doing, and
They
they would
would have
come
to
here.
travel
And
vast distances to get here.
yeah,
Maybe they when they left, that was the best technology they had, and they got here and they woke up and they had balloons. Maybe that's all they had. They left, 80,000 years ago, and they got their balloons. Like, oh god, these people are a lot smarter. Last things that we saw here was just dudes walking around with spears, picking their butts and sniffing themselves.
yeah. Speaking of picking their butts and sniffing them, Philadelphia, Mike. Now, now my thing here, getting into sports a little bit,
Yes.
we have, Ron Hextall. We have this Andy Weidel over
We don't
over at the
waddle.
Steelers.
Yeah.
Since when did we start picking people from Philadelphia to manage and handle our sports affairs here in Pittsburgh? Because, with the exception of this Andy Weidel, yes, he did do some good things before he came over. But Philadelphia is a slum. It's who goes from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia looking for improvement, in my opinion. Why? Of all the different cities, all the different people, all the smart people, why is it Philadelphia, Mike, that we are picking from to make our teams better?
Well, Ron Hextall one to me makes no sense whatsoever.
None. I
I
agree.
didn't agree with it then because the state of that Philly team when he left, that he
Mm-hmm.
even GM'd was they didn't win anything. They didn't even come close to winning anything. Now, Andy Weedle, whatever, that one to me makes sense.
Where's he from
He
originally? Is he from anywhere else, or is he a Philly
I can't
guy?
remember. I can't remember. I know like he's known for Philly and he helped find and draft a lot of the players that are on that team. So that one I'm okay with. We saw where, what he was a part of, what he helped build was a
Mm-hmm.
team that, got one play away from winning the Super Bowl. So I am okay. I'm okay with him. But, when you bring in Ron Hextall, I I did not agree with it then. I don't agree with it now. I have no idea why we brought him in. And
Yeah.
that's like the one, especially a Philadelphia Flyer. Ugh. Oh, flies.
Right.
An Eagle doesn't. Philadelphia Eagles don't bother me. Apparently, they bother him and you. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, the
but
Philadelphia
yeah,
Eagles are historically they're losers, Mike. They've won 25% of their chances in the Super Bowl. They won one out of four trips. And we've won 75%, which is the total opposite of our trips to the Super Bowl. They just are historically losers, Mike. The Philadelphia Eagles are losers. They've always been losers. They've never not been losers except for one freak game where a quarterback comes out of nowhere and beats the GOAT, which again, I mean,
continue back,
come
baby.
on, literally pound for pound, that game should have went the other way, but it didn't. I find it odd. I'm not disappointed. I don't really care, but I'm just thinking I find it odd that we're picking out of Philadelphia, out of the city of brotherly love, to like try to fix our problems here in Pittsburgh. Well, that's never been the case. We always found our own ways to fix things and become good teams and win 5 Stanley Cups when Philadelphia hasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's odd to me, but
I for me, I like yeah. As a fan standpoint, like we're taken from Philly.
yeah,
As long as if you're good at your job, I don't
it's a
care
city
where
of
you come from.
losers.
I don't care where you come from. As long as you're good,
Yeah,
just get him here. And the Philly team, that's the Eagles team has been more successful recently than the Steelers. They've won a Super Bowl more recently
all right.
than we have. So I'm excited to see what this guy can do. And Ron Hextall, he needs to go. Like anything that with the Flyers needs to go. The Eagles don't bother me that much, because they've had some really good
Ron Hextall
players.
has never even been in the Flyers organization when the team has
It
been
was
good.
good.
Was
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So and like the way he built that team there, it made no sense whatsoever. That team was an abject failure when he was GM. This the guy that we brought in to work with Omar Khan, at least he can point to recent success. Like, hey, players on this team, the success we've had, we built this team from the bottom up to become a Super Bowl contender. That makes me feel good. This guy had a hand in that. Like
Yeah.
not just like he wasn't just like the guy getting coffee. No, he was in there making decisions, he was a key contributor to that team. So that makes me feel good. But if it doesn't pan out, yeah, I will blame him because he's from Philly.
I want to talk about this Philadelphia team a little bit, Mike. The Eagles. I watched I
Mhm.
replayed it last night. I dubbed on the DVR. I'm watching the game. One couple observations I made. That line, it's very, very solid.
Mhm.
It looks varsity compared to what we are. We are junior varsity. Our line, even though our line has improved greatly over the course of last season, still is nothing in compared to these Philadelphia Eagles, to the Kansas City Chiefs. These teams are good. They're good. They're built good. That's why these teams are in the Super Bowl. A couple of the observations that I made while I was watching the Eagles game was AJ Brown. AJ Brown, he is a larger Antonio Brown. If you would watch him, and this is what I did, because when I watch the games and it's live, there's a whole different feel to it, because you don't know who's going to win. Your mind's wandering, you kind of have that element to it. But as you go back and you get to watch you watch it back, you start to pick up little things that you didn't notice the first time. And one thing that I noticed when I went back and watched it was this, Mike. I noticed that AJ Brown is the larger Antonio Brown. This guy is built the same as Antonio Brown. This guy catches the same as Antonio Brown. This guy run routes the same as Antonio Brown. He has the speed like Antonio Brown. There are so many things about AJ Brown that I like when I watch him. And I thought, man, put him in the right situation, which he's in right now. Don't get me wrong. But this guy, I'm like, this AJ Brown, I think he's the real deal.
Oh, he is. My God, because he started out in Tennessee.
Yeah. Please tell me what happened with him, because I know that he got drafted by the Titans out of Ole Miss, and less than 3 years later, he's in Philadelphia. I don't know what happened. What's the history on AJ Brown, Mike?
There's nothing like I knew like of him being like a bad teammate or anything like that. I don't remember hearing anything. I think it was just like one of those straight up football trades.
Okay.
He was. Hey,
how was he not good enough for Tennessee? Is what I don't get. I mean, this
right?
Kid is
because he was 1,000 yards, and just under 900. Then boom, 1,400. I don't know. Maybe just I can't remember what happened, because I know when he was traded, people were like, "Oh my God,
yeah,
like this trade happened." But
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really pay much attention to him, Mike, till the 3 touchdown game against the Steelers.
Yeah.
And I thought, holy shit, who is this guy? I mean, because we weren't great, but we weren't to the point where somebody should have been, this man literally ran it up on us more than anybody did all season long, especially from the wide receiver position. Mike, I am very, very impressed with AJ Brown. And like I said, he's the closest thing to Antonio Brown that's out there.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And I know people are like, that tweet resurfaced like, hey, Steelers draft me. Look, this guy didn't get drafted until the 3rd round.
You're right.
So let's pump the brakes here. We knew he was going to be this good.
No, absolutely not.
And I'm bringing.
Plus, we got our guy, Mike. We got our guy that year. We got Devin Bush, and hey,
well, and in fairness, everyone thought Devin Bush was a top 10 pick and going to be a stud middle linebacker. In his rookie year, he showed that that potential. Like, all right, we got our guy. This is going to be our guy going into the future. And then boom, hurts his knee, and then he's never the same player since.
I wish that I would have. You know what? I never seen that in him. I thought he was pretty small, and I thought that his wingspan was small. And in the middle of the field, you have to be able to make open field tackles. Just his body, his anatomy, his physical makeup, I always thought was not good, especially going from Ryan Shazier, who was long, and not on top of being long, he was able to get sideline to sideline, front to back, anywhere you needed to get really quick. This guy, I thought we fell off at the middle linebacker position after that because, like I said, it was a totally different body style, a totally different style of a linebacker. I myself was never impressed, Mike, and I have no reason to lie. I never thought that he was going to be that guy, and especially early on when his size, I started seeing it being an issue. Even when he was having those good years, like those first couple of seasons, a lot of times he was still getting pushed back a lot on tackles. He's just not. I hope he does well somewhere else. I'm sure he's a wonderful person, but in my opinion, here in Pittsburgh, he just was never that guy.
To me, though, his rookie year, he balled out. To me, like 109 tackles his rookie year. Yeah, 109 tackles his rookie year. That's insane for a rookie.
Yeah,
in a 3-4 defense. So,
who was next to him? Who was his?
Who do we have? I have the rosters right here. Give me 1 second.
Good morning, Derby. How you doing this morning, man?
Let's see. It was Vince Williams and Mark Barron. So
Williams and Mark Barron.
Yeah. So it's not like he had studs next to him.
I seen somebody last night.
Come on, AJ Brown was picked in the 3rd round.
Yes.
Okay. So, or was it 2nd round, 3rd round? I can't remember when he was picked, but it's not like we missed out on him in the 1st round. I'm like, oh my God, we got to look at that at that time.
Like you said, I mean, nobody knew at the time. I mean, especially when we're not looking for that position or that particular player.
We thought, we had our guy Deontay Johnson, we had Juju. Who else? We thought James Washington was going to come along. So we thought we had guys in place. So like, okay, we have something going here. We need to move elsewhere. So that's what happens now. Hindsight being 2020, if you can redraft again, I think he's AJ Brown's not making out of the top 10 in that right.
Yeah,
do a redraft.
I think that's safe to say as well. So, Mike, that's the Philadelphia Eagles. One thing I did forget to do yesterday while mentioning everybody that participated in the Super Bowl, everybody that with the local connections, I did forget Avonte Maddox, who is from Pitt. So I do apologize about that. Man, my camera's being cracked. Do you know if this is my camera, Mike? Is this my camera, or is this something from the computer that's causing this issue?
I'm not sure, man. It's those spy balloons, man, and all those UFOs jacking our equipment.
I guess
they're spying on us. Next now, the FAA is gonna be kicking down our doors trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, you are like all.
I mean, it's been crazy today.
Oh, I'm loving it, man. This makes it makes me happy watching you suffer.
Well, I want your camera.
No.
How do you give me this camera? Look at my lip. Look at my mouth.
Oh my god!
It looked like one of them where you get the celebrity talking, but it's not their mouth.
Yeah, like a dubbed foreign film. Yeah, I love it. My god, technical issues all over the place.
Let's stick with football, Mike. In the early, way too early polls, the Steelers nearly cracking the top 10. The number 12 spot, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike, in the way early poll, sitting at number 12.
Oh, the power rankings already are out.
I love power rankings.
Oh, like I don't see it with this team. I'm sorry. I don't see it. Like
you're a mess.
I am a mess. Maybe it's because I'm too critical on because that's my team. I'm overly critical on my team.
That's your problem. You can
I'm
never
like
enjoy
critical.
anything.
Like I'm overly critical, like on my own stuff that I do. Like, oh god, that sucks.
That's why you're never going to be able to enjoy anything.
I can. Oh, you know me. I can enjoy a Steeler game.
No, I've never seen you enjoy one Steeler game ever. Every game that I've watched with you has been we've ended up fist fighting. Somebody has somebody in a headlock. Noogies were involved, and I think even a wedgie one time.
Hey, I enjoyed 8 games this year.
Yeah,
because that's the only way I can survive the losses is to find myself own entertainment out of them. Every win is a stressful win for me. But no, like on paper, the defense, $100 million defense should be enough to get the Steelers where they are in the power rankings. The offense, not so much.
Yeah,
because me, I'm still not sold on our quarterback. I hope he can be the guy. I hope I'm wrong on Kenny, like I was wrong on Jalen Hurts. I hope I'm wrong.
You know what, Jalen Hurts? Let me just come over him real quick. He reminds me of Dante Culpepper. The guy's a linebacker. If you would take Jalen Hurts and put him on the defensive side of the ball, Mike, I think that this guy could be a linebacker. He's fucking huge. He's as strong as a horse. And he literally looks like he's big and strong. You know what I mean? Like a wrestler when he's running. This guy,
he's only 6'1", 223,
look at his,
which is
linebacker
size now.
Look at the guy. I mean, he's a bodybuilder. He's definitely a bodybuilder.
Oh yeah, like they were showing him doing those, like his squats and all that. How much weight he can squat? He's insane, dude.
In his face, he always has that look on his face, like he's ready to kick your ass. Like you know what I mean? Like that bodybuilder type that just walks around with that face, like they're going to beat you up.
Yeah, he like most quarterbacks, you look at him like, oh, you don't scare me. Like,
yeah,
Jalen Hurts coming up with those big ass legs and that jaw, dude. He has like that chiseled.
Yeah,
like you don't want to mess with him. But no. I hope I'm wrong about Kenny. I hope he has that progression in the way like we saw Jalen Hurts and Trevor Lawrence. Me personally, I don't think he has it. I think he's close to his ceiling already. Whereas those other guys had more room to grow. Because I'm sorry, 24 years old rookie, he's going to be 25 next year in your second year in the league. We might as well get the dude from Georgia to be his backup.
There you go.
Let's get him their AARP.
Way to be behind the guys.
I try to be positive, and I immediately go
down the worst
the rabbit hole. I do. I am the worst at that. I try to be positive, and it doesn't work for me. I hate.
Here's one for you, Mike.
I want to be optimistic.
What Kenny did this year, however, the Steelers finished first. This offensive statistic, Mike, surprised a lot of people. Steelers finished first in average plays per drive with 6.51. Mike, listen, hear me out on this one.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
In 21, they were 25th in the league. In 20, they were 30th in the league. In 19, they were 32nd in the league. However, this year, this Steeler offense, Mike, they were the best team in the league with average plays per drive. That's not a bad thing.
Well, yeah, because it takes them that long to move 10 yards down the field.
Keeps the other quarterback off the field. Don't guess what Philadelphia did in the Super Bowl? It was very, very effective. Was keeping Mahomes off the field until the second half when again
he's boom, boom, boom,
well, again,
boom,
yeah, until
touchdown,
Casey
touchdown,
figured it out. They
touchdown,
went to the locker
touchdown.
room, they made their
Yeah.
adjustments and figured out this is what we got to do. But the first half, I think they said it was an hour and a half, Mike, between two plays on offense that Kansas City has. Again, I'm not really comparing that to this. I'm just saying, but
yeah, no, I understand. No, like time of possession is huge. You get those long
huge.
drives, you wear out that defense, but like this
It
team
takes
needs to
your
be.
offense off a rhythm. There's
It
no they
does. Oh yeah, and it takes the offense out of rhythm. The defense gets tired, but you also have to be able to convert, get touchdowns, and score a lot of points doing it that way. And we can't. That's what's worrisome.
And if the season goes exactly like this one next year, then we have big problems. There's no there's no two ways about it. I think everybody could agree on that. I think that things will improve. I hope that things will improve. And you know what? And like I said, if they don't, if this is the same kind of season that we have next year, I think heads will be rolling. I don't know whose heads they will, but like I said, at the end of next season, if we're sitting in the same position we're in right now, I think heads roll. I think Canada's gone. I think there's a bunch of things that start happening. So we have a whole season, Mike. Let's rally behind the guys and hope we can get some wins next year. Also, Mike, the Steelers are opening at a 60 to 1 odds to win the Super Bowl, which is middle of the pack.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your teams at the top, they are. You have your teams at the bottom, they are. Again, the Steelers are right there around the middle. They're lingering. I think that the Steeler team isn't real far off, Mike. I think that, a couple big signings and draft picks and things like that are going to have us vastly improved moving forward. Here's the thing, Mike. The team that played in the second half, if they would have played in the first half, it might have been a little different. Why was the defense so porous through the first 8 games, and then through the last 9, they come along and they become one of the better defenses in the league?
Yeah.
It's a 17-game season, and if your defense don't play for 17 games, it don't matter what your quarterback does. This team has to be up for 17 games. Otherwise, you're going to get similar results.
Yeah. Hopefully, coming into this year, we have JJ Watt or TJ Watt, excuse me, the entire year. He plays all 17 games, which
that's huge. Him being
it is huge. We're paying him $120 million. He better be available every single game. Because it's getting to the point now where it's becoming a farce that he's missing a lot of time. Hopefully, our star running back isn't playing with a piece of lead in his boot for the first handful of games,
right?
For like more or less like the first half of the game. So if those two things can happen to where Watt and Najee are both healthy, that's going to be a huge boost going into the season. And then, whatever signings and draft picks we get, that hopefully those guys can step in right away and start. This team should be in a whole hell of a lot better spot when they not even started last season, but finished last season.
I agree, Mike. I think it's going to be a lot better. I can't wait. I'm excited. We obviously have a lot that's going to go down between now and then. And I think a lot of that is going to affect us positively to help this team out. Again, like I said, with free agency, with draft picks, with just a lot of work that's going on right now. I mean, some of these guys never left the field.
We'll be right back.
They're still working. They're, they've already started their off-season training. They're down in Florida working with coaches to make things better. So, like you had said, yes, I do believe that we should start at least at the point where we fell off last year. I think anything less than that will be a bit of a letdown. I don't know, you may come out with the rust and drop a game early, but this team, like I said, if we finish somewhere right around, or if we start somewhere right around where we finished last year, add the draft picks, add the free agency, add the extra year of experience, we should be an all right football team. Am I going to say, or am I saying that we're going to be the Philadelphia Eagles or the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm not saying that, but I am going to say that we're going to put ourselves back in the position to at least be able to stay in a football game with these guys, opposed to losing 35-3, 38-10, and them kind of scores like we lost to those the big gamers last year. So I do think that that's going to come in. That's going to work in our advantage. We're going to have this year under our belt, the building, the quarterbacks, the young kids. But like Mike had said, we do have to stay healthy. We have to stay healthy in the our running backs have to stay healthy. TJ Watt has to stay healthy. Guys just, and it's unfortunate that's football. You have this no matter where you go. And by the end of the season, most guys are beat up anyway. So here's to hoping for, a better year next year. When Mike gets back, I'm going to talk to him a little bit more about a couple more Eagles things here. And then we're going to move on. We have hockey tonight. We also have Pitt basketball, two pretty big games. One for the Penguins. They need to get back on track. They started on fire out of the gate from the break. They started 2-0, and then they came out and laid a big egg on Saturday night. And 6-0 loss. Not a lot of great things happened in that game. However, this one is against the Sharks, and I think we have a better chance to win in this game. Here's Mike. He's back from playing
Sorry
around.
about that.
A couple more things, Mike, as I was just telling everybody. I'm going to just hit one more thing here on the Eagles. Then we're going to move on. Jalen Hurts. Now, get this, Mike. Jalen Hurts is the first former Alabama player to score a non-passing touchdown in a Super Bowl. Let me say that one more time. Jalen Hurts is the first former Alabama player to score a non-passing touchdown in a Super Bowl.
That is wild. Do you think all the players that have come from there?
Yes.
That there would have to be a running back.
What
a wide receiver on a reverse, a defense, cornerback, linebacker, lineman getting a touchdown.
How amazing is that? And the guy he had 20 points of his own at one point in the game. I don't know how it finished, but this guy, Mike, he's going to be tough. The thing about Jalen Hurts, you're going to have to keep a good team around him, because just like anybody else, once, you start having, as we said yesterday, free agent issues, paying issues, money, this, that, and the other, guys get frustrated. Maybe the locker room starts to get a little shaky. Those kind of things do happen in the NFL, unfortunately. And I just think that, Jalen Hurts is in a very good situation right now. I don't, you like to think that maybe this guy could probably win a Super Bowl over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But like I said, this is Jalen Hurts' for sure window, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. And he, let's see, he has a 4-year contract. I think next year he's done. So after that, it's going to be interesting to see what his contract can be.
Absolutely, man.
Because right now his market value, just going over on Sportac, average value right now of his salary, if he was a free agent, would be $44 million a year.
Yeah.
And that's a huge percentage of your contract. So that's why it's key to get, it was like this year or next year is the key for this team to win a Super Bowl. Because once those quarterbacks start getting the big dollars, it's hard to build a team around them. Now you're kind of seeing that like Kansas City's able to kind of do it because Mahomes, he has that big contract and they're able to make it work. But how long are these teams going to be able to make it work? And,
right. I tell you what, everyone is starting to hate Mahomes more and more. I'm starting to like Mahomes more and more.
I've always liked Mahomes.
I don't know what it is. I
think a lot of it is like his brother and his wife.
I don't even know his brother. I know his wife.
And he's the new, like, quote unquote, golden boy of the NFL. So everyone's, if there's a ticky-tacky penalty, it's like, it's going to be, it's Mahomes.
Right.
Oh, it's Mahomes. That's what happens. That's what the best players get. It sucks, but, they get those calls.
I mean, the guy's amazing.
He is. Just look at his ability. Look at his talent. He's doing things out there that's just crazy.
It's very effortless when he does these things.
Yeah.
He's flipping the ball, and these little, it's so effortless. I thought, wow, just what a talent, man.
And he does it consistently too. Like a lot of quarterbacks will do stuff that he does, but it's like once
right
in their career. He's doing stuff, making
just
weird throws out there all
talent.
The time. It's nuts.
It really is.
He's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen play. And he's only 27 years old.
I like him. There's no two ways about it.
I've always liked him. I think I always will like him.
I think his wife is a pain in the ass, but he's okay. There's not much you could say bad about him, like you said, unless it's a hating thing, unless it's a jealousy thing, unless it's whatever. But
because like all these fans who hate him, if they were his quarterback, would love him. Because
exactly.
I was like all those years I hated Brady. If he was on the Steelers, I'm like, oh yeah, he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Before we move on from football, Mike, I have one last question for you. We talked a little bit about, Brissett, Jacoby Brissett coming to back up our quarterback. We've also talked about just shortly, for a short period of time, we spoke about maybe Dobbs. Here's a name that I read this morning, Mike, that would be somewhat of an interesting pickup for the Steelers. He would be affordable, and he's a veteran who maybe the young man could learn from. How about this name, Mike? Andy Dalton for a backup quarterback.
No, he does not fit this offense. You need someone who's mobile. You need someone to be able to move around in the pocket. And Andy Dalton's not that guy. He's a statue. And no, I don't want Andy Dalton anywhere near this team.
Nowhere near it. Yes.
So, I don't know about Super Bowl contender derby. I can see them making a run in the playoffs, but taking that step into to be a contender with like the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Bills, that might be 2 years away. I hope I'm wrong. I'm Mr. Negative
Which
over
he
here.
usually is.
I am very, very, very like pessimistic when it comes to my team. So when they do well, I get overly excited. But I think 2 years away. Next year, I think is the year we win 10 to 11 games. I'm calling that right now.
What,
10 to
next
11.
year?
Yep. This season coming up, we win 10 to 11 games and win at least one playoff game.
Derby's
Set up for
calling
the
on
future.
Brissett, Mike. Jacoby Brissett, is that a
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't
name that
mind
you would
him.
entertain?
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm slowly warming to that idea. I do like Trubisky, but I think Brissett he played better last year, and it'll be cheaper. And
I thought he had a decent season, man.
decent season. Mitch, will be able to move on, try and catch on
When the
somewhere
Browns
else.
is what they give you to work with, I thought that he had a
Yeah, oh
pretty
yeah,
damn
and
good season.
I wouldn't have a problem with him. I also wouldn't have a problem with Trubisky coming back here too, even with the salary. But because I've made that argument before. You're paying two quarterbacks $15 million a year. That's way less than you're paying a franchise quarterback. So
Mike,
we can use that money elsewhere.
We must move on. We must move on.
We must.
Tonight, big game. The Penguins need to get back on track. They came out of the gate on fire from the break. They did, though, drop their last game. They lost 6-0 to the Kings. They played the Sharks tonight at San Jose, Mike, 17, 26, and 11. The Sharks. Is this a game that the Penguins need?
Yeah, they need it. They definitely need it because they need the points. They need to get back into the I think they're still in the wild card. Yeah, we have 1 point
spot.
Yeah, we're the last spot. Florida and Islanders are right there nipping on our heels.
And we got the Islanders next.
So if we wait, we win this game, win the next game, get a nice little cushion there going in. Because the way this team has been playing, and we haven't been playing that well. We do have 4 games in hand on the Panthers and the Islanders. So that's good. We have a nice little cushion there. But, we know how hockey can go. That cushion can evaporate within, a week.
Absolutely.
They're caught up in games. And at that point, you are where you are. And this team needs to get it together. They need to round back into form.
I wonder if we're ever going to see Jari back in the net, Mike.
I was about to say he is practicing, and there is an outside chance he might start tonight.
Okay. I mean, he's been out there on the West Coast with them the whole time.
Yeah.
Somehow the Smith keeps getting in net. And you know what? The games when he wins, I'm fine with it. But the games that we lose 6-0 and they have to yank them. And, Penguins are sitting at 26, 17, and 9. The game tonight, 10:30 in San Jose. Also, Mike, let me see. The other big game, there's a huge game tonight going on in Pittsburgh over at the Pete. We got Boston College, Mike, the Pitt Panthers. They get snubbed once again. They are snubbed. They are tied at the top with Virginia, who we have the head-to-head against. We beat them, so technically we are above them. So the teams behind us are a number 8 ranked Virginia. North Carolina State, who's ranked, and also the other team that's ranked. I can't think off the top of my head. Plus your powerhouse from the conference, Clemson. Mike, you're still sitting on top of these 4 teams after a week. We're at rank number 29 at the moment. We're 29.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what? At this point, I don't even care. Don't rank us. Just keep winning and get to the big tournament and do what you can, cause damage. At this point, we're looking for the recognition, the respect. You know what? This team is not getting the respect, and I doubt that this team is going to get respect. And the only way that this team is going to get respect, Mike, is if it keeps winning and ultimately does something good this season. And I think that that's going to be the case. You have to start out by beating these next 5 teams who are all lower half of the ACC, and then that last game of the year against Miami. You know what? At that point, I don't know. I don't think it'll be necessary to win. But if they could end out winning that and maybe win out the season, there's going to be no way to deny it. These guys are top team. If you look at the bottom teams from 15 to 25, half of these teams, Mike, I'm certain the Pitt Panthers could beat. For whatever reason, they're not getting getting the respect. But you know what? I come to the conclusion at this point, don't worry about it. That's for decoration. That's for garnish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
go out. Win these games that you're supposed to beat. Beat your Boston College tonight. Boston College is coming in, Mike, at 6-9 in the conference. They're 12-14 overall. There's no way that that the Pitt should lose to this squad. You got to win that tonight, 9 o'clock that game.
Yeah, because right now I'm taking a look at ESPN on their bracketology right now, their projection right now, they have Pitt as the 9 seed.
Yeah.
Coming out of the East as the automatic qualifier, because right now they are the ACC champs.
Yes.
But that can change. So at least, people, they're being recognized as, okay, they're going to make the tournament somewhere along the lines.
Right.
Even though right now,
good.
Yeah, they're too good. But like I said, with the rankings, like I keep saying, it's going to be, it's like you said, it's a respect thing, and you have to build up that trust and that respect.
Now,
so, and this is a team that's come out of nowhere, and
Mike,
we see them lose here and there.
This team could use the us against the world.
Yes.
This would be the kind of team.
I was thinking that,
not the Chiefs, not the the favorite for the whole season. This Pitt team could use that and really build off of that. Us against the world. It's Virginia who's ranked, Miami who's ranked, North Carolina State that's ranked, who are all behind us again, and Clemson. Mike, we are like I said, you're just not going to get that respect. They have to go in with that mentality. They have to go in with the mentality. It's us against the world. And just for shits and giggles on the side, the Pitt Panthers are among the ACC leaders in attendance this year. So the fans are getting behind this team. The zoo gets fired up. So everybody get up there, support this team tonight. 9:00. It is a late game. I suppose maybe it's a national televised game. I'm not sure where it is on TV, but 9:00. That's a little bit late for us. I'm not sure what that's all about, but there it is. 9:00. Boston College at the Pete tonight.
That place is going to be rocking and rolling, baby.
It will be rocking and rolling. Mike, jumping back one step, Fleury now he's closing in on Patrick Waugh on what? Something here.
Let's see here.
Is it the games played, games win, something? I just went past it. But let me start before you even pull the. Go ahead.
No, you can keep going. I'm pulling up stuff right now.
Okay, so here's my thing. The first 2 years of in the league, Marc-Andre Fleury, there was a lot of things that made people think, "Wow, this guy, what are we going to do?" So after a couple Stanley Cups later, a few Stanley Cups down the road, now he's catching up to your Patrick Waughs, your Luongos, your Marty Brodeurs. After this long Marc-Andre Fleury career, it's really been something amazing, Mike, that like I said, this guy who we weren't even sure was going to be able to, play the puck off the boards correctly to be now mentioned with Patrick Waugh.
Yeah. Because right now,
Marty Brodeur, I mean, these guys are the best of the best.
Yeah. He's Fleury is third all time in wins, 536. Waugh has 551. So he's 15 wins behind.
15. So, and that's and then if he passes Waugh, he would be second.
He'd be second, and he's not catching Brodeur. Brodeur has 691. No one's catching him.
And what does our guy have?
Fleury has 536.
536, and the Brodeur one more time.
691.
Oh wow.
So another 155 wins. Yeah, he's going to have to go for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. But Fleury, he's only played in 972 games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I did see. Mike, I just think it's amazing. Like I said, the fact that he's even in the conversation with these guys is amazing. And, at the end of the day, if you're not a Fleury fan and you're from the Burgh, maybe you're just not a hockey fan, because what this guy was able to accomplish in his career, like I said, you don't mention many people in the same sentence as Patrick Waugh.
No, you don't. And a lot of Penguin fans really don't know hockey. They want to blame everything on the goalie, and God, no, it's not always his fault. A lot of the times, like when Fleury was here, he was left out to dry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So he's one of the greatest goalies of all time.
And
his numbers show it. And
over to the Diamond briefly. Pirates confident in a good spot with Ji-Man Choi, despite the WBC situation, the World Baseball Championship. I still don't know what it is, Mike, that kept him out, or the Pirates are keeping him out for. Do you have any take on that?
No, I think it's stupid, because we're letting other players go.
Right, there's three other players from three other players go different countries.
On him, this guy we just traded for. Every article I've read, I have not seen a reason why they're not letting him go.
Right.
To me, it makes zero sense. You're bringing the guy in here, you trade for him, and this is how you're going to start him off. You're going to start him off on the wrong foot. And this is why this organization's a joke.
And like we had said, go ahead and piss off the new guy already. Do what you do well, Pirates. Piss everybody off, and then wonder why these people aren't playing good baseball for you.
and this is why, like, one of the reasons why, free agents don't want to come here. This, they don't spend money. They treat their good player. They treat players like this. It makes no sense to me.
I agree.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And I can't wait for Pirate season just to see, because it's going to go the way it always does. They're going to start bad. They're going to have a nice little run somewhere in the middle. People are going to be like, oh my God, look where we are. And then the end of the year, look at them. They're going to have like 90 some losses again.
Yeah. It would be. I'd be interested if that wasn't the case. However, we know all too well that will be the case.
Mm-hmm.
They threw a couple band-aids on the situation. They bring back Andrew McCutchen this offseason. Mm-hmm. Again, I think that's for PR. I think that you know what? They made a few moves, Mike, and I'm not convinced that they're not all for PR. They brought in players that are just a little bit better than the guys that we had.
Yeah, but they're not that much better.
And they're not that much,
and they're
better.
All at the end of their career.
You're right.
You're bringing in Rich Hill. Come on now, get out of here. Yeah,
Rich Hill's older than you.
I think he is, or I might just be by a year.
Yeah,
this guy out of here.
Rihanna, Mike, did she lip sync the other night?
I think so.
A lot of people on the internet are saying that she lip sync. Of course, I did not see the halftime show. I might have to go back and check that out later. I got to check out the instant replay to see if Rihanna lip sync. Mike, it's what a lot of people are saying.
You know what? I really don't care.
I thought that's what all the big time people do nowadays.
Yeah, and especially at the Super Bowl and stuff. You don't know how stuff's going to sound. You're in a wide open area. The sound's not. You're going to have terrible acoustics there. If you're going to sound like trash, go out there at lip sync. Put on a dance number, have all this stuff going on, and just be there for entertainment. And that's what it was. And I liked it.
Yeah.
Like or you want to go out there sounding like Vince Neil when he's on tour, go, nah, wow, go. Oh, you can't understand a single word he says because he can't sing. No, I'd rather have Rihanna out there singing than some washed up 80s star going, wah, wah, wah.
Somebody loves it. Somebody's paying them a lot of money to do it. Also, Mike, did you catch this? And not that I even care. Just now that we're in the entertainment for a moment here before we end the show, Machine Gun Kelly apparently cheats on Megan Fox.
What an idiot!
Who cheats on Megan Fox?
Idiots.
And as weird as she is, and the way that they kind of have all this weird stuff together with their drinking their blood and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to seriously get rid of that. You're going to get rid of that chick who's hot as hell, who does all that weird shit with you. I don't know.
He's an idiot. Didn't he beat her too? Hit her? Is what I heard. I don't know if it's true. I don't want to cast aspersions on anyone, but I think that's a rumor. They showed up at the Grammys and she had some bruises on her, probably from him.
I'm very surprised that he could beat up anybody. Have you seen this guy?
Yeah. He looks like a skinny little crackhead.
Yeah, he's not very physically intimidating, I'd have to say.
No.
Other entertainment news, Mike. Roseanne Barr is streaming. She has a comedy stand-up. It's called Cancel This.
Oh God.
I'd be kind of curious to see what she has to say, just because I think that she's always been somewhat of an outspoken, entertaining person. However, I probably won't watch it, but Roseanne Barr, Cancel This. I believe it's on. I don't know. I don't want to say
it's it was on Fox or something. I think one of their streaming
Fox
services.
Something. Yeah, like the streaming.
Yeah. I have. Nah. She does not intrigue me at all anymore.
Morgan Gruber, our guest last year from the American Idol, Mike, she will be at Jurgles. We speak about Jurgles quite often lately up in Warrendale, here in the Pittsburgh area. Morgan Gruber and Christian Beck on March 3rd at Jurgles. You want to check them out. Morgan Gruber, of course, was the American Idol contestant last season. We had her on the show for an exclusive interview right as soon as she was on for the first time.
You did too. That was a big score.
That was a big score. Great interview. Great talking to her. And also, finally, Mike, the catalytic converter stolen. Did you catch this?
No.
From the famous Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. You seen that big wiener that drives around?
Someone stole that.
Somebody jacked the catalytic converter from the Wienermobile.
I don't like that at all. They don't be stealing the catalytic, especially Oscar Mayer Wiener one.
Exactly.
Get the hell out of here.
Real quick before anything else, Mike, do you have any invested interest in the Elimination Chamber in the WWE this coming Saturday night?
I'll follow along on Twitter, see who wins, see how it sets up for WrestleMania. Because I pay attention for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because how can you not?
Well, there was no.
If you have any interest in wrestling, especially WWE, you're gonna go watch WrestleMania. You're gonna see what's gonna come up. So that's the one I'm interested in. So usually, I think what this one's gonna set some stuff up for it storyline wise. So I'll pay attention on Twitter, see who wins, who loses.
There was very little sports on last night regarding Pittsburgh. Football's done. The big game, the game Snyder Pitt Penguins last night wasn't so much. So I did check out Raw briefly, which I don't do much anymore. Mike, I do realize now at this part of my life, the women are why I watch wrestling. I was very uninterested when it was the guys wrestling one another.
Yeah.
But when the girls came out and did their thing or wrestling, I was very interested. As a matter of fact, that was why I found out last night why I will stop and watch wrestling every once in a while because of the chicks. So
yeah. Just there's something wrong with you.
Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website?
So it's 2dumyinzers.com. The number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Head over there. We have links to YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, the main platforms for us. We're everywhere else too, wherever you can find podcast. We have links to what else? Facebook, Instas, Twitter's on there, merchandise store, all at 2dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.2dumyinzers.com. We are live every day from Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please continue to keep checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. And the show that we do every day gets uploaded on the Spotify in podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. So this show that we're doing right now will be up this evening at 8 o'clock over on Spotify. If you got time to check it out in the car, at work, anything like that, it will be over there for you. Mike, you ready for a little trivia?
Yeah. Derpy's comment. Cat fight. Woo!
Exactly. Mike, this here is, we're going to hop to a Penguins. For the first time in a couple of weeks, we're not going to be doing Super Bowl. And then also, we're not going to be doing football, which we haven't did for a long time. We haven't had trivia that wasn't football. Mike, this is a Pittsburgh Penguins trivia. Anybody else? Derpy on the board. Anybody else wants to play along at home? Here we go. You ready?
I am ready.
What is the Penguins' longest winning streak? And I'm looking for amount of games. I'm not looking for years. I'm not looking for teams. I'm not looking for players. I'm looking for the amount of games. What is the Pittsburgh Penguins' longest winning streak?
Isn't that not 16 games?
16 games. Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
All right, I'm gonna lock you in on 16. I'll wait a second here to see if anybody on the board has a guess. Again, the question of the day is, what is the Penguins' longest winning streak? And I'm looking for the amount of games, not looking for a year, not looking for a team, not looking for nothing like that. Just the amount of games that is the longest winning streak for the Pittsburgh Penguins in their franchise history.
Ooh, Derpy 17.
Derpy got 17. Mike got 16. I'll go ahead and lock everybody in. All right, one last time. What's the record for the longest winning streak for the Penguins? Mike says 16. Derpy says 17. The answer, of course, is
I hate you.
That? You thought I was gone, didn't you, fucker? The answer is 17. 17. The answer is 17. Nice. Amount of wins in their longest winning streak. Derpy, you did get that one, Mike. You were one off. But that, in fact, is the answer. Damn. 17 games is the winning streak.
I'm mad at myself.
Mike, do you have anything before we take off for today, man?
No, I have nothing. I have no words of wisdom. I have nothing. You are special, Derpy. That's my words of wisdom.
We do want to thank everybody for checking us out. Like I said, this show right here will be uploaded this evening over Spotify, so you could listen to it in podcast form. Otherwise, this will be here on YouTube for the rest of forever. And we will be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock for 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock tomorrow. So join us then. For Ryan, Mike, the 2 Dum Yinzers, we'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.